this? What's going on here?
I'm sitting.
Yeah, I know, but we got to start the show, and you know what? Alex and Joe have not answered me yet, and
They're not coming.
What do you mean they're not coming?
They canceled.
Well, how are we going to do the show?
I'll be the guest.
No.
There's the camera. I'll
no,
talk.
you are not.
Like,
you are not.
I'll be like,
no.
Yeah, mind over movies.
No. You are not being on the show. I heard they came in before.
I heard somebody else. It wasn't them.
I need them on the show.
They're not coming!
Like Twisted.
What did we not have the instrument for today? And I don't understand.
It's just it doesn't have. It needs new strings, and I don't want to.
But you just got that guitar, did you not?
But when you're playing it 3-4 hours a day,
I want I want to be able to record the Mind Over Movies theme song, and I want to have like black church singers in there.
Oh, Mind Over Movies.
This guy was.
Oh, Mind Over Movies. Well, oh Lord, Mind Over Movies.
Can we do that?
We have a studio that we can do that in.
Okay, do they come equipped with?
Well,
they come equipped with African American?
It sounds like you want a Baptist church.
That's what I want.
No, you have to
record
a
Baptist church.
You have to
Next week's episode will be live from the First Mission Baptist Church
of Jesus Christ.
Anyway, welcome back to Mind Over Movies. We continue our first season here. You know that we've actually this is going to be a month that we've been doing this.
Wow.
It's been a month. Our first
happy
episode.
Anniversary.
Yeah,
Time
happy
flies.
anniversary, everybody. September 18th was our first episode when we walked in here and we started talking about movies, and here we are, 1 month later, doing the same old thing. And here today, Joe is back, of course. Alex is back, of course. Good old, I'm trying. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that want to be on the show. There is. There's people like a good friend of mine, Andrew Di Lorenzo, who wants to be on the show. There's people from our film classes that want to be on the show. But you guys, it's always good to have here. I have to say, it is fun. Alex, how are you this week?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's always good to hear. And how you doing back there?
It's a rough week.
It's a rough week? Why is it a rough week? Because your strings are broken?
Nah, it's just everything going. Life happens, and and then.
Yes, it does.
I got a couple of colleagues that are, working with
what is he doing? What is this?
Well, I don't have
you
the.
Getting stuck with a taser?
I don't have a comfortable chair.
Let's go into what our show is here for, and that's movies. This week in the box office, this past weekend, Gone Girl led for the second consecutive week, despite being matched by 3 films. Gone Girl, $26.4 million. Dracula Untold brought in $23 million. I think that's a miserable number for a big budget movie that was $70
Which
million
wasn't that
budget.
bad, actually.
Wasn't that bad, Joe? I'll get to you in a second about that. Alexander and the terribly long movie title it brought in $18 million. Annabelle back for a second week. That came in 4th place with $15 million. And the new release, The Judge, which I will talk about.
Annabelle, which was
the doll movie.
No.
Shit for Brains, Gone Girl,
right.
No Brainer. Good job, man. Thank you for reminding me. And The Judge, also the new release with Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall, that brought in $13 million. We did get a chance to see some of these movies. Joe, you saw Dracula. Tell me about this.
It wasn't that bad, actually. I went in expecting a lot worse than what it actually was. I mean...
he's shaking his head no.
Well, I didn't see it.
Everybody knows the story of Dracula, you know what I'm saying? But
this is the untold story.
I don't know why they named it that, but it's a silly name. But they it's like an origin story of Dracula, how he became Dracula. It's one of those moments, like one of those movies where you feel like you connected to the protagonist before he turns bad.
Right.
You get the backstory of the villain before he becomes the villain.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like that, but. Overall, I mean, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, I probably give it like 3 brains.
3 brains. Yeah. That's not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
Now, Anne, are you familiar with the Universal horror movies, the Universal monsters?
I'm not going to say I've seen any of them, but
but you're familiar with them.
I'm familiar with them.
They are remaking a lot of these, and I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy that
they're doing
are.
the cinematic universe.
Yeah, they're doing the whole cinematic universe again. Frankenstein will be with Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy. Radcliffe is going to play Igor, which I think is a really.
What's that called? It's called The Secret.
I don't know what it's.
The Curse of Frankenstein, I think.
I don't know what it's called exactly. I'll get the name for you. But so they're doing that. They just did Dracula. I don't know if you consider Wolfman from 2010 part of this. They might redo that again.
Yeah, they got to do that.
I would assume they would. No, it's just called Frankenstein.
Oh, it is called Frankenstein.
It's got Radcliffe, James McAvoy as Victor von Frankenstein.
McAvee.
McAvee. What do you mean?
McAvee.
It's McAvoy.
Well, he says McAvee, but people say McAvoy.
Interesting. I don't have anybody who's playing the monster. I don't see that yet. So those are the movies that came out. I saw The Judge. I thought this was a very good movie.
Still gotta see that.
I'm calling these movies outsider movies. These are movies where the main character, which is Robert Downey Jr., comes back to his hometown where he's an outsider, and then towards the end of the movie, all of his family comes back, and he thinks he's this big outsider, but he's really an insider. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Kind of like those movies where they come back for the funeral, like This Is Where I Leave You, which we had a chance to see too, or any of those movies where they come back and the main character comes back to his hometown, and he thinks, oh, I'm bigger than this place, but really he belongs there.
It's like that Ryan Reynolds movie, right? When he comes back.
Yes. What is that?
What's that movie called? He's like a big time actor.
Right, he comes back. Is that the comedy, right?
Yeah, it's a comedy, but I forgot what it's called.
He comes back, and then you wind up that you're just the same as everybody from your town. Love the chemistry between Robert Duvall and Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. I thought it was great. Duvall was very good. I don't know, considering the critics don't love this movie, I enjoyed it. I think it had a couple of moments that were just for the fans, like just for the audience to see. I'd give this probably around 3 brains. I would keep it there. But a decent movie.
Will Duvall get the nod?
I don't think Duvall will get the nod. I really can't. I really have to see the rest of the movies that come out in order to say that. It was promising. Downey Jr. will not get a nod. He needs to get challenged more. This guy needs to get a role because he's got talent. You know, he's got this great quick talking. He's this verbal brilliance that he's able to just.
You said he was very Tony Stark, right?
Yeah, he's very Tony Stark in all of his roles. You know, you see this in what was it, the
Iron Man
Soloist
and Iron Man.
Well, obviously Iron Man because that is Tony
and
Tony
Iron
Stark.
Man.
But since he's come
1, 2,
back,
and 3.
since he's come back from this hiatus of the drugs and all that, it seems like he's just not getting the challenging roles. Give me another Chaplin. Give me stuff like that.
I think the furthest he went is Sherlock Holmes, right?
Yeah, maybe. And even Sherlock Holmes, it's Tony Stark with an accent. You know, he needs to get something challenging because I do love him. I love Robert Downey Jr., but he needs to get more challenging roles. This weekend coming out, we have a new Nicholas Sparks movie, The Best of Me. Alex, do you like Nicholas Sparks movies?
Well, you said he likes female movies, right?
No.
I didn't say I like female movies.
I said
no.
he likes I think he can dissect female protagonists better. I said that's what I said. Do you like Nicholas Sparks movies?
I can't say that I do. No.
Oh man, that's upsetting. I really feel like he would like Nicholas Sparks
movies.
Well,
The Notebook wasn't that bad.
And have you seen any Nicholas Sparks movies?
boy.
The Notebook is my guilty pleasure.
I think it's everybody's guilty
pleasure. That's your go-to
no,
when you get a girl over.
It's not my guilty pleasure.
Really?
What
is your guilty pleasure?
Say that I
you know
what?
You never like was with like a girl and she was like, oh, what movie would you like? Instead of
I've been forced to watch The Notebook, but not since high school.
Great.
Oh, you haven't watched it since. So what is a guilty pleasure of yours?
Oh.
Like A Walk to Remember? Is that one?
Oreos.
Pillow Talk.
No.
Dirty Dancing? Ghost?
Dirty Dancing. Yes, actually, yeah. I love Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I do.
And Ghost, I know you like Ghost.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze. Yeah, I'm a big Patrick Swayze.
We need to crack Alex and find out what his guilty pleasure is.
What was that wacky movie? The Purple Honey Dip?
The Color Purple?
No, what was that thing?
Oh, Chicken with Plums.
Chicken with Plums.
That's not a guilty pleasure. I'm very proud of liking that film.
The Purple Honeydew.
So The Best of Me comes out. I believe James Marsden's in that. I don't know. All of the trailers for these movies tend to look like
Michelle Monaghan too.
That's right. She's in that too. I'd like to like these movies these trailers that come out. Like I remember when the Charlie St. Cloud trailer came out. I was like, wow, I'd see this movie. Sure, I'd give it a chance. James Marsden I happen to like a lot, so I might give this movie a chance. I mean, obviously I would need a female companion with me. So the second movie that comes out is called The Book of Life. This is another animated movie brought to us by Fox. They're trying to get in the animated game. I know nothing about this movie. I know I'm supposed to be a professional, but I know nothing about this movie. I remember seeing the trailer a couple months ago. I'm not interested. Alex, what do you think?
No idea.
No idea.
No.
And the last one, the big one this week, is Fury, starring Brad Pitt. directed by David Ayer, and starring a lot of other people too. Shia LaBeouf, who's the kid in it?
Logan Lerman. Michael Pena. Great cast.
Seems like this movie is going to be very, very good.
John Bernthal from Walking Dead.
John Bernthal, who I really, really enjoy. It seems like this movie's got the legs for an Oscar nod. We have to obviously see it first and see what the critics think about it. Fury has the Pitster in it. So I go to you guys, like we talked a couple weeks ago about Ben Affleck in Gone Girl. I talked to you guys about Brad Pitt. What are your feelings on Brad Pitt?
Well, he's on a different level than Ben Affleck, obviously. I think Brad Pitt is way more versatile as an actor. I mean, I can see him. I find him believable in most of the roles that he plays.
Yeah. No, I agree. For Pitt, for me, the only thing that I don't see with him is he doesn't give much transition in his roles. I don't see him changing. Of course he changes his hair because this guy's got gorgeous hair. What do you want? So of course you're going to change it up. He's got long hair. He's got short hair. He's got no hair. Whatever. But I don't see much transition in his vocal, in the voice, in his appearance. He always seems to just be Hollywood straight man Brad Pitt in his movies, despite that his acting might be good. And
it's going to be like any other film he's been in, like World War Z.
Yeah, but I mean, like he can change like his voice to sound like a Westerner or something like that.
Pizza's here.
Your pizza's here. What is he getting up out of this chair today? Joe, thoughts on Brad Pitt?
I mean, I think you actually hit something that's pretty smart about the vocal part. I mean, he does keep the same vocality in most of his movies, right. But the big movies like Seven, Fight Club, Ocean's 11, Troy, World War Z, Inglourious Basterds, those are all great films. But I really like a lot of his underrated stuff. Like the Sleepers. Meet Joe Black, great. Snatch, Burn After Reading. These are all movies that are underrated for him. But I mean, he's just overall great actor who hasn't gotten the recognition I think he deserves.
Right. No, I mean he hasn't. He's won an Oscar, but only as a producer. He hasn't won an Oscar as an actor. I think he's only been nominated twice, and I think one of those was supporting. So no, he hasn't gotten that recognition yet. You hope a movie like Fury can put him there because when you surround Brad Pitt as the star with exceptional acting around the sides of him, you might be able to push him up and grab an Oscar.
Well, he was.
Yes, sir.
My argument is the same as Leo.
What do you mean?
He's the same person in every film, and he's never won anything.
I disagree with. I don't think Leo is the same person in every film. I think he looks to be the same person in every film. Yeah. But Leo is like he's this structured actor where he takes a lot of work to prepare for his roles. He studies the roles. He studies the characters. I don't feel like Brad Pitt does that. I just think he comes on set and gets paid his $40 million and says, okay, let's do this. Not that it's a bad thing. But I wouldn't compare Brad Pitt to Leo DiCaprio.
No, you can't. Absolutely not. But there's plenty of articles on the interweb.
Well, of course, it's the interweb. Gotta stop calling.
Wait, in your what would you say would be your favorite Brad Pitt movie?
Favorite Brad Pitt movie?
I mean, the Seven, Fight Club.
Yeah, I mean,
Troy,
I really love Seven.
Ocean's 11.
He worked with David Fincher three times with Benjamin Button, Seven, and Fight Club. I mean, Seven is just a masterstroke, and he's really, really good at that. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
That's a great movie.
Alex, you got a favorite Brad Pitt movie? I know you don't like to be put on the spot.
No, I like him in Snatch.
Yeah,
I really do like him in Snatch.
Snatch.
Yes, I like him in Inglourious Basterds.
Very good Inglourious Basterds.
And I do like his character in True Romance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's not the star of that film by any means.
The most important thing for Brad Pitt is to be matched with an equally good director. So when you put him with Quentin Tarantino or you put him with David Fincher, you're going to get your star Brad Pitt.
Right.
And I believe David Ayer can get that out of you. He's done Training Day. Yeah. He's done End of Watch.
End of Watch was a really, really good movie.
Yeah, very underrated movie. I think a lot more people need to see End of Watch. Interesting cinematography. A lot of it's shot.
He grasped that gritty emotion very well. Like Harsh Times with Christian Bale, End of Watch, Training Day, like you said, but I think he wrote Training Day. Harsh Times he wrote, direct, and produced.
Yeah.
End of Watch he wrote, direct, and produced. Fury he wrote and direct and he has the Suicide Squad movie coming out for DC in 2016. So.
We'll get to some superhero movies in a little bit. Yeah, I think his directing is very good. His writing is even better. So I'm excited to see Fury, which comes out Friday. If we look ahead, we are doing a Halloween episode. It will come out October 30th. We are expected. We are expected to be in costume. We are expected to be in costume. There he goes.
Well done. Production value just going way up.
Are we going to surprise them, or do you have an idea of what you're going to be, guys? Like, what do you have an idea yet? He never shuts it off.
I know.
He lets it go for 15 seconds.
That's definitely a female scream. Should I analyze?
Yes,
the
you should
performance?
analyze the female scream.
I have 2 costumes I'm thinking about.
Are you going to tell us?
No.
Okay, fine.
Wait till we.
That episode will air October 30th on Thursday, the day before Halloween. We will be in costume. We will be talking about our favorite horror movies. And of course the movies that we've seen over the past year, horror movies wise. But favorite horror movies, you guys better really get those ready. Also, you guys, you can be involved in the action if you want to put your favorite horror movies on the Facebook page, facebook.com/mindovermovies. So Ouija comes out October 24th. Ouija. Also a thriller that I guess you really can't call it a horror movie, but Before I Go to Sleep with Nicole Kidman comes out October 31st. So that's a look ahead on our horror movies. Not really a heavy horror movie
it's not.
thing.
Not a lot of horror movies.
This is the kind of year where you got to just grab a couple horror DVDs and watch them.
Did you ever have you ever played with a Ouija board?
I haven't. Have you played with a Ouija board?
Oh my
God.
Yeah. I'm too scared.
And it was like I got it for Christmas one year.
Listen, you did see The Exorcist, right?
What the hell's wrong with your parents?
Well, I mean, we came from a Catholic family, but they don't believe in that mumbo jumbo.
Right, we don't.
It was for fun, but I will tell you, I mean, when I used to do it back in the 80s.
What's that look?
Back in the 80s, no, like you really didn't know who was moving it. And they would be like, I'm not moving it. And they would be like, no, it's not me. And then they would actually move, and it was quite freaky. So I'm nostalgia. I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna go to the movies.
Wow,
it's probably gonna suck.
I don't know. I will see. It
looks
like a promising trailer.
Wait,
is this the one that Michael Bay produced, though? I think this is the one that Michael Bay produced.
I'm not sure.
Not loving that. Alex, have you ever played with a Ouija board?
Yes, I have.
How'd it go for you?
You know,
it's spooky.
It is spooky.
Yeah, we didn't play with it inside the house though. We played with it outside the house.
We did it inside.
Can we get the Ouija board here for the Halloween show?
You could probably get one in Toys R Us for like.
No, we want an old one.
I want an old one.
We want one that has spirits built into it.
Yeah. I want one with like blood splatter on the side.
They took those off the market back in '81.
I want one.
Just don't speak to Captain Howdy.
Yeah.
All right,
but
he's a bad guy.
It really is. It's nerve wracking. Ouija boards are nerve wracking.
I feel like we need like an old antique Ouija board, so maybe we'll
Salvation Army might have one.
Fine.
They just opened one.
That's interesting.
Let's get some news here. We'll go to Joe. I know he loves to spew the news,
Yes.
but let me make the announcement.
Welcome to the news.
Let me make the announcement of Neil Patrick Harris hosting the Oscars this year. Ellen did it last year. I thought she did a phenomenal job. Wish she would have signed on for 10 more. But we get Neil Patrick Harris in the driver's seat this year. I think he'll do good. He's hosted shows before. He's always a good soul, always somebody fun to watch. So I can't see how Neil Patrick Harris would do bad on this. Joe, I look to you to talk about some superhero movies. So give me this new slate that Warner Brothers announced.
All right. Well, first I want to touch on something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
We have some streaming news.
Streaming news.
The first thing is that starting in January, we'll have all 10 seasons of Friends.
Wow,
on
that's
Netflix.
a big announcement.
I'll be there for
huge.
you.
I will. It's not in the.
You know what? A lot of people, big Friends fans, own all the discs.
Right.
But it's better than getting up, changing the disc every 5 freaking minutes.
I can get behind that. I mean, most of these DVDs are really for show.
And also for non-Verizon users, HBO will have its own streaming service.
Yeah, that's interesting. For you don't need a cable network to you're not going to need a cable network to watch HBO anymore.
Right.
It's going to be an online thing. It's obviously not going to be on your thing, but if you're in the digital world and you do stuff online, you're going to be able to get an HBO account and just watch stuff from there, which is kind of a cool idea.
All right. Well, first with Marvel, we have Robert Downey Jr. He's joining Captain America 3, which was going to ignite the kind of Civil War story arc that Marvel has in the comics that started, I think, in 2006 or something like that. Also, the final three The final 3 actors that are being considered for Doctor Strange are Ewan McGregor,
Okay.
Oscar Isaac, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I've heard Matthew McConaughey too.
I did not hear
For
that.
Doctor Strange, Jake.
For Doctor Strange.
I don't
That's what I
like
heard.
it.
And
Yourself? I'd like to see that.
for the DC stuff, you ready for this?
Yes, here we go.
All right, so DC, big news, DC. 2016. Well, they released all the movies. They released everything now. They had has titles. Some have directors, some have actors.
So we're filling in that chart.
So we're filling that chart in. 2016, Batman vs Superman. Of course, everybody knows Dawn of Justice. Snyder's going to direct that. August 5th, 2016, Suicide Squad. That's going to be directed by David Ayer, the director of Fury. 2017, we have June 23rd. Wonder Woman's going to get her own movie.
Okay.
Gal Gadot. That's or Gadot, whatever it is.
Good.
November 10th is going to be Justice League Part 1, directed by Snyder.
Okay.
Then in 2018, March 23rd, we have The Flash, starring Ezra Miller.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice. Ezra Miller, he is from Perks of a Wallflower. He's from Perks of a Wallflower, and we need to talk about Kevin. I don't really love this choice for the
terrible
Flash.
decision for casting.
I like the Flash in the show, in the CW
He's
show
great.
that we've seen. I
Yeah,
enjoy this show.
That's Grant Gustin.
But they don't like to do that. It seems like they don't like to take stars from the TV shows and put them in the movies. I don't know why people don't do this, but like if there was going to be an Arrow movie, they might not pick that guy.
Yeah, it's very rough for the DC world to see. I mean, it's gonna be hard for me because I watch Arrow, I watch Flash. By the time Flash comes out, I'm sure Flash will be into season 3 or 4 or whatever.
Right, exactly. It's
and it's gonna
2018.
be very weird to see a different actor playing that character. So we'll see how that works out. But also 2018, we have Aquaman with Jason Momoa. That's July 27th.
Okay.
2019, Shazam, April 5th. The Rock starring that. And also Justice League Part 2, June 14th, which is going to be directed by Snyder again.
Wait a minute. Vincent Chase isn't going to be Aquaman?
That's
He's not gonna
ridiculous.
be-
That's a farce.
This is ridiculous.
The Entourage movie will be out next year.
Yeah.
This summer
Yep.
next year.
Yep.
But Vincent Chase not playing Aquaman.
No. Blasphemy.
And then wrapping that up, 2020, we have
Queens
Cyborg.
Boulevard.
Cyborg, April 3rd, played by Ray Fisher. And the reboot of Green Lantern, June 19th.
Reboot.
Thank God they're rebooting that
Yeah.
because that movie was terrible.
Garbage.
And also somewhere
Garbage.
in between those 6 years, they're going to have another solo Batman, another solo Superman movie.
Wow.
See, but
But no date, nothing yet except for that.
That is a lot of movies,
Yes.
Warner Brothers.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
they should have. Why didn't they do this 20 years ago?
But and they also released that they're going to be the Harry Potter spinoff, the Beast, whatever.
Fantastic Beast. and
Right, there's
Where
gonna
to
be there's
Find
gonna be 3 of those.
3 films.
Wait, when's Deadpool coming out again?
Deadpool, there's no date for
No
Deadpool.
There's no date, right?
No date for Deadpool.
Also in movie news, DiCaprio was supposed to play Steve Jobs. He dropped out. This is the Danny Boyle version of Steve Jobs that's going to be coming out. Also written by Aaron Sorkin. A lot of people excited about this film. Christian Bale has decided to sign on and play.
I think it'll be
Steve
good.
Jobs. Yeah,
I think
don't
it'll
see
be
why
good.
not.
That's gonna be
So that's the Warner Brothers superhero edition, a big slate. American Horror Story, nice first episode. I enjoyed that. We'll swing into TV news.
Yeah.
Good first episode. I like the characters. I like the freaks. This should be fun. Big. It already got renewed for next season after Freak Show, so it's going to keep coming back. But you guys got to hear this, and I feel like you'll love this story. The international clown community has said that the clowns are being misrepresented on American Horror Story.
Hey, listen,
this is
they
a
have
true story.
They have a They have a
They're
valid
outraged.
argument.
What do you mean they
Yeah,
have a
but did
valid
you see
argument?
that
These are-
It's a
Clown?
valid argument.
No,
All right, so what?
no,
The bearded
wrong.
women of America are going to come out and say, oh, this is not the way you're supposed
But
to.
know what?
Well, just because a woman
but
has high
bearded-
testosterone.
See, but bearded women weren't being hired for kids' parties ever.
How about three-breasted women?
They weren't being hired for kids' parties ever.
How about the
either.
guy with the lobster hands?
He wasn't being hired for kids' parties either.
I want some lobster
clowns.
hands.
Now, anybody who has
I know why.
anybody who has clowns does a clown side job, whatever it is.
Right.
Now, I mean, of course, now the clown's gonna be. Who's gonna hire a clown after seeing this?
Well,
but
I mean,
Listen, kids have been scared of clowns forever.
Well, that's because of why? Because of Pennywise.
oh, and also because of the. Oh, let's not even talk
Yeah,
about.
but
Killer
I just-
clowns
I
from
don't
outer
feel like
space.
if
Oh,
I-
great,
look,
great stuff.
If I
Great
hire a
stuff.
clown, I don't think he's connected to the international clown community. I think these are just a bunch of red nose guys walking around thinking they want to be recognized as like this community of. I mean, what's the international clown community? What is it? And do you know? I feel like you went to clown school.
I mean,
Did
listen.
you try that
I mean,
out?
ICC.
granted, I have a degree from the ICC from '77.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here's the thing. The biggest clown in America has a bone to pick with Ryan Murphy, and it's not about how Glee went seriously downhill after season 1. Clowns of America, here it is, Clowns of America International, which, by the way, makes no sense, is quite perturbed over the portrayal of clowns on American Horror Story. You guys know Twisty, right? There he is. Well, apparently the horrifying version of a clown isn't sitting well with the folks who make clowning around their business.
But like he
I mean,
said,
it makes sense.
It's a horror movie. It's a
Killer
horror
clowns
show.
from outer
Joe,
space.
don't try to justify
No,
this.
I mean,
This
it
is-
makes
this is
sense.
You know what?
ridiculous.
I mean,
If
it
the
does make a little bit of
international
sense.
clown community of America, which makes no sense,
No,
they
that's what I'm saying. The Clowns of America
contact
International.
the show, call in, and we'll talk about it. We want a member of the international
Yes.
clown community to call this show through Skype, and we'll discuss it with them.
Every movie can be bombarded for the mistreatment of one of their characters.
Yeah,
If I have a show about 5 teachers and I make one of the teachers do this and one of the teachers do that, you're bound to get called by a teachers union, right? But that's a reputable source, not the Clowns of America International.
Yeah, but you know what? You're reading about them on the internet, which means they just got exposure
well,
from them
first of all, it's not
complaining
like
about
top page. I had to
Yeah,
scroll
but
down about
still.
15 times.
But
to
we're
find this
talking
article.
about it on this fantastic show.
You're fantastic. And before we leave our show, because we are really running.
How about,
I know.
How about that
Actually-
quote right there? I despise American Horror Story. A direct quote from Doink.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that, folks.
Doink.
And did you happen to see a movie this
I
past
did,
week?
but it's Halloween related, so we'll talk about it for the Halloween show.
So we're not gonna. You haven't seen a movie yet.
No, I saw a movie this week, but I got stuck in the Halloween, like the horror genre,
Okay.
so I'd rather just save it for the Halloween show.
All right, so let's just recap. The Judge, seen by myself. Three brains. I give that. Joe, you saw Dracula. 3 brains. Alex, you see anything interesting this past week? Did you pop in any DVDs?
I watched on Netflix. I watched In a World.
Oh, okay.
The documentary or the movie?
No, the movie
Movie
starring
fe-
Lake Bell.
Female
Okay.
protagonist movie.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you.
Yeah,
You know what?
There you go.
Thank
I think Anthony has a point now. He does-
Wow.
Female protagonist.
I think
movie.
it has a point now.
Did
I
you
think I'm
like
a
this movie?
feminist.
Did you like this movie?
I thoroughly enjoyed this
Good.
film. It was funny. It was well written. I thought it was shot well.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Have you ever seen the doc? Wait, is that about like voiceovers and
It's
stuff
about
like
voiceovers.
that? Have you seen the documentary? I think I know that voice.
I
It's on
I
Netflix.
saw it on Netflix, but I didn't
Oh,
watch
it's a
it.
great documentary about all the voiceover actors in the industry, and they go through tons of cartoon characters who've done, what they go through on a daily basis, and what it takes to be a voice actor. It's a good documentary.
I mean, I remember years ago finding out Bart Simpson was a girl. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
figuring
so
out,
was
finding that
Chucky.
out.
So was Tommy.
How about that? It's fantastic.
I know.
And have you ever done any voiceover work?
For this one,
Back in 1987.
84. But there's one thing I want to bring up. You
Go
know,
ahead.
it's like this is what the 6th episode now.
Something like that.
You know,
Fifth.
we and 5th or 6th.
One of those.
And I feel that the home studio audience that watches us can assist us in getting the word spread. I have a lot of friends that my friends would love to watch this, but they're not spreading it.
Spread it.
So spread it. Put it on your Facebook page. Get your friends to invite us to the what is it? Facebook.com,
Spread Facebook.com/mindovermovies.
and just post on your website.
Hashtag spread the brain.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Or shit for
that could be
brains.
misinterpreted for sexual acts.
Spread the brain. Wait a minute.
Hashtag spread the mind. I don't know.
We
On that
just,
note-
We have to think about that
Yeah,
one.
no,
We'll
this
get
is a
back to you.
meeting that we'll have after the
Yeah.
show.
But
today.
please spread it because it's a great show. You know, the people that do see it, they really enjoy it.
Well, we have a lot of fun doing it. You know, this
Yeah,
is
it's
an
great.
idea for a show that I've had for years, and we're sticking with it.
We tested out
We-
a couple of other shows
We've
too.
tested. I've done podcasts up to wazoo. I've done
Yeah.
podcasts by myself. I've done podcasts with 4 friends. I've done it all. But the beauty of it is that we love talking about movies, so that's why we're here. So yeah, spread the word, spread the brain, spread the mind. Do whatever you got.
Double tap, like,
Oh, yeah.
share.
Yeah, whatever, any one of those. That's our show. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Alex, our good friend and Lefty in the back, engineering the whole deal. Fury, go see that this week. You can go see Ouija next week, but we will be back next week. Head apple. Just dancing and like flailing. That's what I want. Can
We
do
like
that?
film.
We like film. Bye, everybody.
Good night.